你講下點解你話想反季節啊？
嗰啲人就諗住，即係而家咁樣，喂，好聲啊！
哎呀，黃嫂唔好意思。
唔緊要，唔緊要，嗰啲冇事。
哎，我論鬼盡。
唔緊要。
Welcome back, everyone. Today we're in Lumchun in Tai Po District, which is a group of predominantly Hakka villages in the Lumchun Valley. Known mostly for the wishing tree, many come to test their fortune, especially during festivals. These days, it's a huge tourist draw to the village. But we're not here today to make wishes or throw plastic kumquats at the plastic tree. I'm back to drop in on an old acquaintance that's always up to new things on her farm. I first met Mrs. Wong, now in her 70s, almost a decade ago when I stayed in this village for a couple of years. She taught me how to eat Chinese kale raw, and it was a revelation. People often visit her on her farm, where you can ask for what's fresh on offer, which could be flowers, like during Chinese New Year. Some of the farmers grow watercress in the Lamchun River. Before this bridge was built just a few years ago, villagers used to hop rocks across the water to get home and into their fields, which dominate this part of the landscape.
Okay, we're getting close to her spot. And here we are. 黃嫂喺咪度啊？ She's here, she's just inside her house.
呢度啊！
And right out of the box, she's keen to show me a rare sight, her Cuttapule flower buds, also called Queen of the Night, a fragrant cactus blossom that only blooms at night and wilts before dawn.
9點零鐘開，如果啲人中意食嘅呢，我佢整曬乾到，我嚟煲湯呢，對個肺好有益嘅。
As Mrs. Wong gets ready for the field after her break, I say hello to another old friend.
Hi. 仲記得我啊你係嘛？ Yeah.
Yep, that's us 6 years ago. On her farm, there's dragon fruit, sugarcane, Chinese mustard greens, peppers, tomatoes, different melons, various lettuce and amaranth varieties, and much more. But of course, I promptly break something as Mrs. Wong tells me about her Chinese long bean experiment.
即係而家咁樣，喂，好聲啊！
哎呀，黃嫂唔好意思。
唔緊要，唔緊要，嗰啲冇事。
哎，我論鬼盡。
唔緊要。
Sorry.
唔緊要，呢條繩回咗啫。嗰陣時我喺度種百合噶嘛。即係話呢，個天時而家咁熱，冇四季之分，睇下種下反季節嘅嘢好唔好收成啦咁啊，試下。咁而家試下，唔得，收成好少。
Since she mostly works this land on her own, I offer to help her with something she mentioned earlier.
你幫我鏟草，你識唔識？
你教我試下啦，好唔好？
As instructed, I loosen the surface soil between the beds so the weeds no longer occupy the path.
嗰啲天氣環境點唔到自己講嘅，勤力啲咯。而家咁樣冇咁熱，早啲起身做，或者夜晚冇咁多蚊啊，做夜少少咁。
In the process of removing weeds, we come across a prickly customer that was cultivated here but is no longer welcome. The Amaranthus spinosus, or thorny amaranth.
好，過嚟啦。
你唔好揸咁落，揸上啲，因為下邊有嘢拮手啦嘛。
OK。
嗰根就冇立拮手啊嘛。
咁通常人哋就要呢一橛係咪？
嗯。
就我嚟點樣？我嚟煲湯用。
我嚟煲湯咯，煲豬骨啊，煲魚啊，對個肝好有益嘅。
好靚啊！呢棵嘢但係真係。
但係佢阻住路咧。喺廣州嗰陣時都係農民嚟㗎啦，後尾先至龍轉飛咁先至轉到居民。呢啲田就擸埋間屋咁一齊租咗，咁咪租到喺度。喺度咧，開始嗰陣時喺大埔墟又執過紙皮啦，又執過汽水罐啦，咁啊到落到嚟呢度就有咁多田地喺度，咁啊耕田。
She's also always tried new things, new varieties, new methods, often breaking conventions just to see if there's something that can be improved upon.
或者你想創出另外一條路咧，係咪？又唔使因循守舊㗎。
As the sun sets in the distance, we wrap up our tasks, and Mrs. Wong does a final watering of her fields.
It's been such a great afternoon hanging out with her. She's so kind and so generous with her information, with her own stories, with her food. I'm really glad that I've met her, and here she is.
你同嗰個攝影機都傾得到偈啊！
As we say our goodbyes, I buy some bok choy, and she gives me some red lemongrass stalks to take home as well.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Take care. Happy growing. We'll see you next time.
拜拜。